Hey there, to celebrate the launch month of NatFun, we're going to give you a NatFun Friday freebie with not one, but two episodes of our not quite Halloween holiday fun shot, Nightmare in Elm Forest. Thanks for listening. Please tell a friend about us, and we hope you enjoyed this episode.
Well, welcome back, everybody, to another episode of NatFun. Tonight, we have cooked up something special for you in the form of a holiday episode. What holiday, you might ask? Well, none other than Halloween. Tonight, I will be your game master, and my name is Erin, and I'm joined by a few friends. We're going to get to know them here in a few minutes, but let's first set the scene. Nestled between two mountains and tucked against the Annual River lies a small village, Own. Flanked north and south by the elm forest, towering trees, and taller mountains leave Own mostly shrouded in darkness, save for a few hours of sunlight each day. For the most part, this logging community lives a peaceful existence, but the last few months have been nothing short of strange. Fish have washed up on the banks, trees cut down show a rotten core. In the last week, 4 villagers have disappeared without a trace. Guided by various reasons, 3 nights before All Hallows, newcomers have ventured into Own to sate the mystery. We find ourselves as the last of our soon-to-be adventurers arrive in Own, the dead of night, and the village is quiet, save for their light footsteps. But before we meet this person, let's explore who is already here. Jackie, will you please introduce your character?
Yes. So my name is Jackie, and I will be playing Melanie, who is a half-orc fighter. She has blonde hair in pigtails, and she has freckles on her cheeks, on her nose, very Pippi Longstocking. And she's a little bit smaller than the average half-orc, a little more of a toned and not giant muscular appearance. She does come from a big family in a small village just south of the mainland, and she kind of wanted to get away from her family and maybe a little bit of her destiny and explore a little bit, and that's what she's doing.
Wonderful. So, Melanie, you arrived to the city, or the village of Own, just as the last of the sun is starting to fade behind the trees. As you arrive, you see a couple of the villagers shuffling around, and they look downtrodden. What would you like to do?
Melanie wants to look around and see if she hasn't been adventuring very long, so see if there's a really obvious bulletin board or kind of a merchant's hall where she would need to look and see what's going on. And if she doesn't see one right away, she'll look and see if there's a pub.
There's definitely something right there, and what you see is a couple of missing persons posters. 4 large posters grace this board with the names Ramona, James, Gordon, and Roan. The sketches on the missing posters, not the best, but you can definitely tell they're all human. Most of them are adults, but little Roan appears to be only 6.
Oh, blimey, this doesn't look very good. I don't like it when there's missing kids. I wonder if I can talk to anyone about this.
As you kind of look around, you do see that there are a few people in the street and what appears to be a pub. Very quiet, but there are people coming in and out.
Melanie's going to head that direction, and maybe some of the people that are just starting to step out. G'day, my name's Melanie. Are you from around here? I'm new to town.
Newcomer? Well, we don't see many new faces around here. I'm sorry, what was your question?
You're from around here?
Oh, yep, born and raised.
I'm obviously not.
Yeah, well, yes, obviously not.
And Melanie just has a big, giant smile on her face. Like, yes, everyone's downtrodden. It's dreary, and she's just like this super chipper farm girl. Oh, well, I saw the missing people posters. Do you happen to know anything about that, or who put them up, or?
Well, our pub master Miss Sharon put those up. Great lady, makes good beer for all the loggers here in town. Not the best artist, as you might have seen, but she put those up. We don't really have a mayor, but she's trying to do the best she can to get the word out. And, with only about 100 of us living in the village, we all know about it.
Okay, but you don't happen to know Ramona, James, Gordon, or Roan?
Oh, I do know Ramona quite well. She was my wife's best friend.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry. Do you happen to know where she last went, or...?
He shakes his head slowly. No, Ramona, James, Gordon, and little Roan disappeared dead of night. All taken, or walked off, or something, this last week. Roan was last.
Crikey. Do you know Roan's parents' names?
It's funny. I don't. And he calls back into the pub, Sharon, you know who Roan's parents are? And she's like,
oh, that's Sharon? I'll go talk to her. Thank you for your information. And she just charges into the pub.
Perfect. So you walk into the pub, and you hear kind of like this, a little bit of music, a little bit of laughter, but it's a little bit more sullen. People are a little concerned with what's going on around here.
Hey, Miss Sharon, I was just talking to a good friend of Ramona. Do you have any ale to maybe wet my whistle before I ask you some questions?
Oh, hi, sweetie. Yes, I do. My name's Sharon, and you are...
Oh, good day. My name's Melanie. I'm not from around here.
Oh, Melanie. Well, appreciate you coming in and asking about Ramona, James, Gordon, and little Roan. Yes, little Roan's parents are just so, distraught. Sheila and Big Joe. Roan's their pride and joy.
Oh, I understand. I've got 13 brothers of my own.
Yes. Well, not sure what to tell you, sweetie. They're all went missing in the dead of night, and we're just trying to see if anybody's noticed anything, and so far no one's come forward.
Well, I haven't noticed anything yet. I just got here, but your drawing's fairly good. Not a ton of detail for me to go on. Do you have any information specifically what they look like or what they were doing?
No. Sorry. Just they were all in their homes, supposedly. Ramona was a quiet woman. She was best friends with that bloke, Jeremy. Jeremy's wife. And she just disappeared one night. She was the first to go, and then, of course, James, and then Gordon, and then Roan. But Roan's parents said she was sleeping in her room. And this was just 2 nights ago.
That's some scary stuff. Is there anyone else in here that's inquired about this, or you recommend I talk to?
The best thing that I can think to say is every 2 nights so far this week, someone has gone missing. It might be best to kind of just take a quick nap and see what happens tonight.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Can I start with some ale, though?
Oh, of course. And she's going to pour you a nice, healthy glass of ale.
Thank you kindly.
All right. And then the night's going to kind of dwindle on for you, Melanie, and Sharon's going to offer you a place to sleep if you would like to take it while you wait for night to fall.
Cannot thank you enough for your hospitality, Miss Sharon. That's great. I might need a place to sleep for a bit.
Perfect. And so she's going to direct you up the stairs. And then Dan, now I need you to introduce your character.
All right. My name's Dan. I'll be playing Gullen, who is a human paladin. He's in his late 20s, long brown hair, fairly strong, medium to large build, to say. He comes from a small town that was destroyed by a horde of evil creatures when he was just a young boy. His parents had hid him, and he was later found as a sole survivor by a holy order of warriors that were tracking down the creatures. They took me in and raised me to do the same, hunt down and destroy anything and everything that is unnatural and evil, no matter the cost. As my skills and strength and faith grew, the order I was part of changed my name to that my small town, Gullen. I travel wherever I must and bring vengeful justice with me. There'll be no mercy for the wicked.
Wonderful. So, Golan, you also arrive in town, but at this point, the light has already faded. The pub is basically just a couple people left in it. When you look in the window, you don't see a half-orc sitting at the bar at this point. What would you like to do?
I go up and approach the bartender there and introduce myself, saying, I've heard of these strange happenings, these disappearances, and I'm here to investigate what's happened.
Oh, your second one tonight. How funny is that? Well, yes, 4 missing people in the last week, 3 adults and 1 little girl, little Roan. And, some other strange things, too. We've had a couple horses go missing, and the loggers haven't had much luck with the trees they've been cutting down. But as far as leads to go on, I don't have much for you. I told the other one all this stuff has been happening in the middle of the night, so it might be good to get some shut-eye.
All right, I'll do that. Is there a vacant room in the area I can set up in?
She's in the one, and I can put you in the other if you're okay with that.
That'd be fine.
Alright. So you're going to head upstairs, and then Jeremy, can you please go ahead and introduce your character?
Sure, I'm Jeremy, and I'll be playing Lander Hornraven. Lander is a human in his late 20s. I would say medium to small build. Well, he's about 6 foot, but he's very slender. Lander is a warlock, and his village didn't like that he was practicing the arts, so they shunned him and eventually asked him to leave, which was fine with him, since he thought they were generally simpletons. And now Lander wanders the realm looking for wisdom and to grow his power and abilities. He's good at heart, but also enjoys some chaos from time to time.
Lovely. So Lander, by the time you reach the edge of Own, darkness has fallen even deeper. The only light illuminating now is a window that appears to be a butcher shop. And you're a bit tired from your walk on the road, and your little dragon familiar is looking peckish and starts nosing at you, caught by the smell of blood. What would you like to do?
Well, my little dragon familiar's name is Lockheed, and I'm going to send him scouting, I guess, looking for the source of the blood.
Go ahead and roll me a perception check. And we'll just use your character sheet for these.
That's going to take a second.
I'm a little bit disappointed that your last name isn't Calrissian. Lander.
Well, the name Lander and Hornraven was taken directly from the description of human warlocks. So I was going to name
That's pretty cool.
Freddy Voorhees, but you said perception?
Yes, please. All right, so with an 8, Lockheed is going to fly up kind of to the window, and he kind of peers in, and eyes get big like a kid in a candy shop. Can't tell exactly where the smell of blood is coming from, but he's pretty sure it's this building.
I'm going to see if I can peek in windows and see what is going on.
Okay. And you're just going to walk straight up to the building?
Well, when you put it like that, I'm not sure.
No worries. So you start walking up to the building, and you hear a, hey, sir, I know you ain't from around here, but you don't want to be on the road at night. You better come on in here. And the door to the butcher shop has opened, and you see a stout little man standing there kind of beckoning to you.
Okay. I'll call Lockheed back to my shoulder and go inside, see what's going on with the little fella.
Phew. I don't know what it's been, but the last week we've had 4 people go missing. And, newcomer, I don't even know if anybody would put up a missing poster sign for you. He chuckles awkwardly.
Great.
Anyway, I see you have a little friend. Does he want some meat?
I'm sure he would love a little nibble.
Great! And he claps his hands together, and he turns around, and he kind of starts rummaging around in various looking buckets. Turns around, and he holds out a scrap of meat to Lockheed.
I'm gonna take that scrap of meat from him so that he doesn't lose a finger in the process of trying to feed something to Lockheed. And I'll kind of flip it up with my thumb so that he can snatch it out of the air.
Beautiful. Let's go ahead and have Lockheed make a performance check to see if he can do that. Whether it's nerves, the little meat bounces off of his nose first, but he does catch it on the rebound, so the butcher is impressed.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So at the very beginning of this, I said we had one more person arriving to town. So currently we have Melanie in the tavern in one of the rooms, sleeping away. We have Golan in another room, also snoozing. We have Lander in the butcher shop, chatting with the butcher. But we have one more player to meet. So Matt, could you go ahead and please introduce who you will be playing tonight?
I am Matt, and I will be playing Claravon Lightfoot. He goes by Clark because most people just mispronounce his old family name. He is an elven ranger, and as he trots down the edge of the street, it's at the edges, just like that. He keeps to the side. It's more cloak and boot, shadows. His cloak's kind of a dark, earthy tone. Hood up, mask on. If you saw below the mask, it's bright green eyes, shoulder-length hair. Very lithe figure, but he hunches. He doesn't show his full height. Very nimble figure, not very bulky. But a very, very able body, but not big by any means. A little bit about Clark is he is from a family from a wooded mountainous area that used to be hunter guides, but long ago they guided somebody who brought danger to their home, and this person brought something down upon their homestead and their village that to this day Clark doesn't really know what it was, but undead, beast, monster, but little by little it came to the home and picked them off one by one. He fought back, his family fought back, but eventually it drove them out, and he spent his life trying to figure out what it was, and eventually he gained skills and has traveled trying to figure out what this was, and he's been on the road trying to help others understand, but gathering knowledge on his path to understanding. And tonight he knows something's on the air, and he is looking to find out what it is.
Well, let's see how good he can tell with that something strange being afoot, and have you roll a perception check.
Let's just see. How about a dirty 20?
Dirty 20? Oh, the hair on the back of Clark's neck stands up the second he reaches town. Owen is completely shrouded in darkness. Little glimpses of moonlight peeking through the clouds. Again, really the only thing that you can hear are the very faint sounds of your own footsteps. Kind of a rustle in the leaves of the trees. And you look around. Windows are boarded. Doors are barred. Lights are out. Seems very uninviting and very defensive.
This feels very familiar, like days after his village was attacked for the first couple times. He doesn't like it. He'll move into town very, very slowly against the edges and see if he can find a light on or an open door or a face, somewhere, a beacon to move towards.
You take a step forward, and we're going to jump back to Melanie. Melanie, you are laying in bed, and your dreams are starting to get a little funky. Loud male voices ring through your head as a heaviness overcomes you. Looking down at your body, you see layers of white cloth, but it feels a lot more like chains. A female's hands snake around your throat, and you hear the familiar voice of your mother whisper, "It's time." As you try to pull away, your feet are rooted to the floor. You break for the door, only to find a half-orc barring your way. His face is twisted, and he beckons to you, "Melanie, you're mine." Just down the hall, Gulen, also plagued with an interesting dream. You hear wet, grotesque grunting around you as your mother yanks you from your bed. In the dim moonlight, you see her press a finger to her lips, urging you to remain quiet. Her insistent guiding hand pulls you to the floor as she gingerly lifts one of the floorboards and gestures for you to lay down. The space is only big enough for a young child. You hear a crash outside and a roar. Your father screams out, and your mother pushes you down, floorboard covering you in an instant. Through the crack in the dust, you see her feet as she turns toward the door, only for it to slam into her, knocking her prone. Darkness itself towers over her, and you see the terror in her eyes as claws lash out, silencing her scream in a scarlet mist. Just down the way at the butcher's shop, Lander, you hear a deep, deep howl. And in town, Clark, you hear the same. All four of you are awoken, and you all have the strong urge to meet in the center by the well.
Blimey, that was terrifying. I'm gonna get my breeches on and run outside, see what's going on. Melanie's gonna just throw her clothes on as quickly as she can, grab her gear, and throw it on as she's going down the hallway, down the stairs from her room. And does she run into Gulen on the way, or is Gulen more of a slow riser in this moment?
Golan's gonna make sure his equipment's in order. He's not leaving anything to chance, so he will make sure his armor's put on properly, gather his weapons, make sure everything's in its place, and then head down the hall.
I was really hoping to do a strength check to run into you.
There's still time.
Clark will be in the square, but he'd like to stay to the edge with the well in sight, but he'd like to make a stealth check to stand on the periphery to watch what happens.
Lander is going to head towards the center of town.
That's a 14 for the edge of standing at the edge there.
Perfect. I was just going to ask for your stealth roll. So a 14. Yep, you are kind of shrouded in this darkness. And Lander, as you leave the butcher shop, You hear I wouldn't do that, but okay, as the door slings shut behind you.
I figured it might not be advised as much, but I thought, why not get the party started?
I think Clark steps out just a little bit. That's kind of what breaks his stealth a little bit when he sees the motion of a light of a door opening, but he still holds to the edge just to see.
So, Clark, you are first in the center of town. Quickly, Lander joins you. Melanie, you are shortly to arrive. And Golan, you bring up the rear. Now, Clark, you are hidden if you don't want to come out just yet. Just you were the first to the square.
I'm going to hold just for a minute out of caution, not knowing quite what's happening.
Okay. So, Lander, since you would be technically the first non-hidden player to arrive, go ahead and roll me a perception check to see what you see. Well, with a nat 1, that gets you up to a 3.
Why do I have passive wisdom?
But I didn't ask for passive wisdom. I asked for active.
Worth a shot.
So you get up to the center of town and you see the well, but that's about it.
All right.
Melanie, you would be next to arrive, not shrouding yourself in darkness and stealthing away. You see a slender human standing there, kind of looking around for a source of whatever sound may have happened. You can roll a perception check or you can engage him.
Can I just say I'm picturing the John Travolta meme from the Quentin Tarantino movie, where he's just kind of looking around like, what? What?
Nice. Melanie is very new to adventuring and pretty naive, so she's just gonna run out, and she sees this person standing there, so she's just gonna call up, "Did you see anything? What's going on?"
I did not see anything. Are you seeing anything?
"Give me a second." And then she starts to look around.
Clark just face palms and steps out.
Stepping out of the shadows, Melanie, Lander, you both see this mysterious man in a mask and cloak.
Kill it. Kill it.
Clark just steps forward to the well and doesn't say anything, just stands with them.
Very ominous. Okay, go ahead and both Melanie and Clark make a perception check for me.
Good Lord. Melanie rolls a nat 1 as well.
Should have stayed in the shadows. Clark rolls a 14.
All right. So even with your bonuses there, Melanie, a 6 doesn't really do you anything. And Clark, you do see at the base of this well a small pool of blood.
Please no red balloons. Please no red balloons. Please no red balloons.
They all float down here.
Just as you notice this, Golan arrives to the scene.
Can Golan, not quite sure of, just that nightmarish experience he had, and not sure who these people are in front of him, can he cast Divine Sense and see if he can get a sense of if there's anything good or evil in the area?
Yes.
So it's not really an action. It's just just pops
a
up.
thing you do.
Yeah.
Can you go ahead and read me the description, please?
All right. The presence of strong evil registers on your senses like noxious odor, and powerful good rings like heavenly music in your ears. As an action, you can open your awareness to detect such forces. And until the end of your next turn, you know the location of any celestial, fiend, or undead within 60 feet of you that is not behind total cover. I'm gonna stop reading there. Like, it just goes on.
Perfect. So you are able to cast Divine Sense. This is within 60 feet of you. Maybe a minute, 2 minutes has passed since the 4 of you have heard this noise and the 2 of you were awoken from your sleep. And this horrible, gross, rotten egg smell, Golan, you sense it from the north, but it's starting to get a little faint, as if something is fleeing this area.
So Golan will now approach everyone, introduce himself, say, I'm Golan. I was awoken, I assume the same as the rest of you, and something nasty just headed north of the village.
You had a dream where your mum woke you up too.
She did. It was more of a flashback to an experience I had.
I think if you sense something bad moving to the north, with all the people that have disappeared, all the villagers, maybe we should go see what's going on. Maybe something snatched another villager.
Are you all here to investigate as well?
We are now.
Indeed.
Yeah, I saw the posters. Did you read them?
I did briefly when I passed by them, yes.
I didn't see any posters.
It's too dark.
It was too dark when I came in.
Can Clark look down and see if he can track this blood trail since we know it's north, and see if he can find a path north based on that information?
Yes, go ahead and roll me a nature check, please.
Would a 22 do it?
Absolutely. So between Golan's sense of smell, just picking up on that rotten egg odor, and Clark's just really good sense of tracking, you guys are able to follow the dripping of this blood pretty far into the woods.
Into the woods we go. To grandmother's house.
I suppose we'll have time for introductions later.
By the way, everyone, good day. My name's Melanie, and don't know where we're going. If you can point me in the right direction, I'd love to be in the front. I can take a punch, probably a lot better than the rest of you blokes.
I'm not going to argue with somebody else taking the first punch.
And Melanie, punches you on your shoulder, and it kind of stings a little bit.
Let's go ahead and have Lander make a Constitution saving throw right here, and a strength check from Melanie, please.
Non-lethal. Let's get those out of the way.
Yeah, Melanie rolled a 6 for her strength. I'm just going to do all the low numbers now because that's the game plan.
And Lander, how did you do on your con save there?
Well, I rolled a 17 on Constitution.
Yep. So, Melanie, I think you may overestimate yourself a little bit on that little friendly, stinging punch. But that's okay, girl. You'll get it next time.
Yeah, you hear a couple knuckles pop and she winces briefly. Let's go.
Perfect. So you guys start making your way up this path. Again, Clark and Golan are kind of taking point in leading the way. And before too long, you hear the forest change. It is dead silent now. And I need everybody to go ahead and roll initiative. One thing I forgot to mention, we are doing Theater of the Mind tonight, so technically you will not be moving on this map. I will be giving you cues of how far away you are. I can't see anybody's initiative roll.
Oh, that's weird.
We'd have to probably drag our tokens out to do that.
Okay,
Right.
we're gonna do this then.
Do that.
That worked for you, Golan.
So I dragged my token out and then clicked on it and did
okay.
initiative. So just do that. And we can add the initial rolls.
Okay, go ahead and put yourself in the pink box on the bottom.
Oh, good.
Do we get to keep the first roll
Yeah.
or do we have to re-roll?
No, you get to keep your first roll.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Okay. But you want us to roll it again to
Yep, so you can get in
put us on the order?
in the order, yep.
Oh.
Oh, never mind. I want the second one.
You can't have it both ways.
Yes, you can.
No, I know.
That is a 14 for Clark.
Golan rolled a 13.
Dirty 21 for Melanie.
Well, that would be a 20 for Lander.
Nicely done. Yeah. It's a good roll.
How do you want to handle the tie, Aaron? Because he got a crit
Oh, he gets to go first.
on his initiative.
Yeah. Crits always beat. Come on.
That'll be the one and only of the evening that I get.
Dex don't matter.
I mean, if let's say you guys both got a 6, okay, then it would be Dex. But, you know, sometimes you gotta get a little bonus when you get a crit, right? That's my little homebrew rule, is like, if it's a tie and it's a crit, it goes to the crit. Alrighty. You guys are walking down the path. You see this giant hulking elk with bloody red eyes. And before you guys can do anything, it stares at the person in front, which was Clark, following the tracks. And Clark, I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Fair enough. That did not go well.
Oh, what'd you roll? Let's go with that first.
That would be a 3.
So Golem has Aura of Protection, which adds plus throw to saving throws for me and friendly creatures within 10 feet of me. I don't know how much help it'll be for him, but
A +4
yes.
And
to
also,
get him up to 7?
it depends on the effect, too, because I do have some personal effects here. Let's see what happens. I can't be charmed.
So, the elk with the bloody red eyes stares directly into yours, fixing its gaze, forcing you to make a wisdom saving throw DC 18. If the target fails, it becomes frightened for 1 minute.
It's a 3 plus the 4 minus the 4 plus the 4 minus the 3 plus the 3 is still 7.
Yeah, I'm
So close.
pretty sure, pretty scared bear, the big scary deer, big scary deer. Clark's scared.
As a reminder, the frightened condition. A frightened creature has disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls while the source of its fear is within line of sight. The creature can't willingly move closer to the source of its fear. Now, good news for you guys is that in order to hit you with this frightening gaze, it has to be 10 feet in front of you. So it's really close. You can still hit it. Kinda. Maybe. Or maybe
I don't
like a
think that's a
ranged
good
thing.
thing.
Yeah. Oh.
I said good, but I didn't mean maybe for you guys. All right. With that out of the way, Lander, you're up.
So I have a couple of things here, a couple of thoughts. One is I had the invocation Armor of Shadows that I would like to put out there. Armor myself up a bit, just in case. And the other is I'm going to hit this bad boy with some Eldritch Blast.
So anyway, I start blasting.
Good day. My name's Melanie. I hope you're enjoying this NatFun fun shot. Although I'm new to adventuring, I'm not new to Patreon or leaving a rating or review on my favorite podcast listening network. You should too. It really does help other people find the show. Or better yet, tell a friend about the podcast. Well, better figure out the rest of this mystery. Let's get back to it.
And Lander rolls an 18.
Heck yeah, he does. That's going to be a hit. Go ahead and roll some damage for me.
Well, that didn't do very well, did it?
Hey, a hit's a hit, man.
That's true.
He has to make a concentration check, right?
So a beam
Unfortunately
of
for you.
crackling energy streaks towards the elk. Making a, let's see, it says make a ranged spell attack against the target. On a hit, the target takes 1d10 force damage. The spell creates more than one beam when you reach higher levels. 2 beams at 5th level.
So
3 beams at 11th, so I would get, Lander would get 2 beams.
heck yeah, he does. Go ahead and roll a second beam. Or second damage for that beam, because you already hit.
Oh, that's a bit better. Rolls an 8. Total of 11.
Beautiful. Now remember, you're about 10-15 feet away from this guy. Do you want to use any of your movement to kind of get away from him, or do you want to stay right where you're at?
I am going to, Lander is going to move back probably 10 more feet. He doesn't want to get too far out to where he's ineffective, but he also doesn't want to be close enough that he's getting snagged on some antlers.
Very fair. Okay, so Lander takes a step back 10 feet. And now Melanie, it is your turn.
Did Melanie see any change in Clark when he got frightened, or I've only noticed Lander's Eldritch Blast?
Well, I mean, the elk would have stared down Clark. So if he tenses up, but it doesn't have a physical effect, it just makes him frightened. So it's kind of however Clark would have reacted to being frightened. So if he's the type of scaredy cat that goes, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, I'm so scared, there's an elk, you guys, then yes, you would be very well aware. But if he's the big, tough, masked man who is going to be like, I ain't afraid of that spider, but I'm really afraid of that spider, then you probably wouldn't notice.
Well, Clark.
I would say let the dice tell the story. Would be the way I would say it. But
It's your character, so however you want.
Clark would have reacted because he is absolutely afraid. He stopped and he did react. Instead of moving forward towards it or drawing his bow, he has definitely reacted, and he is not moved backwards, but he is definitely not moving forward, and he has stepped back on his foot instead of moving confidently forward like he has been the entire time otherwise. He's changed his demeanor, but that's as far as you would be able to tell with a full cloak on.
Well, and I like the description of the elk, like totally like stopped, stared, and did kind of a menacing presence, I guess. So seeing the Eldritch Blast, seeing the elk look over and kind of stare over straight at us, Melanie is going to... I'm torn. She's going to go ahead and just run up and start whacking away at this elk. Get right up in its face.
All right. You move forward. Go ahead and make that attack roll.
As a fighter, she does get 2 attacks.
Heck yeah, she does.
First one with Bushwhacker is an 11. Aw.
Not going to do it.
For Ramona! And then she swings it again. It's 13.
It does not. I'm so sorry.
She's not going to move. She said she wanted to be in the front to take a punch.
Hey, that works. That works. Next up, we have something that's been sneaking around. Now this thing has gotten behind you guys. It's trying to flank. And as Lander stepped back, this thing crept forward. This wolf with bloody red eyes is going to take a bite attack at you, Lander.
Oh, mother.
And does a 20 break your armor class?
Son of a... I mean, a little bit. Yes, it does.
Oh.
And that is going to be 15 points of piercing damage.
Sweet baby Jesus. Man down. Man down.
And that is going to end its turn. Now we go on to the giant elk, who's not super happy that this thing attacked it with what appears to be a weird misshapen sword. Yeah, it's not having that. And it goes, rears back on its hind legs and throws its front hooves down at you, Melanie. Does a 24 break your armor class?
Yeah, I think a 24 just hits.
Oh.
26 bludgeoning?
She takes it.
Okay. Wonderful. We're going to move on to
These guys are not playing around.
Golan. It is now your turn.
All right. How far between me and the various creatures?
You are about 10 feet away from the elk in front of you, and the wolf is about 10 feet behind you.
All right. I don't like being flanked, so I'll start off with the bonus action of Hunter's Mark on the wolf behind me. Oh, I should pull up the spell description. So, a creature that I can see within range of 90 feet. I get to mark it, and until the spell ends, I deal an extra 1d6 damage to the target whenever I hit it with a weapon attack. And I have an advantage on any wisdom, perception, or wisdom survival check to find it. And if it drops to 0 hit points, I can move that to another target.
Perfect.
And then I'm going to go ahead, charge right up to it, and take an attack at it with my one-handed longsword. Twice.
Get some.
So a 13 and a 9. Oh man, we just not rolling one.
Are there any stumps around that have purple smoke coming out of them?
Oh man. Okay, so you go to hit with the 13. Doesn't quite do it. 9. Not gonna do it either.
All right. Well, he'll use any movement to put himself between the wolf and Lander, seeing that he's been hit pretty hard and I'm pretty heavily armored, and we're just going to try to keep that there. And then my turn.
GM, one piece of questioning. I'm just asking for a piece of mechanical information. The wolf and the deer, size animals, are they large or larger?
The elk is going to be large, and the dire wolf is going to be medium.
Okay, that is helpful information. Thank you. As I am afraid of the elk, I'm going to turn my sights, and as it has taken a huge chunk out of one of my party members, I'm going to turn to the wolf. And Clark is assessing the situation, and he is absolutely terrified of this elk. He is going to turn to the wolf, and he is going to attempt to shoot it with his bow. He is actually going to move back about 15 feet so that he is about 25 feet from both things, just to give himself a little better range, and as he is quite squishy, and get a better beat on everything. And he is going to take his first shot with the longbow at the wolf.
Make it so.
That is a 24 to hit the wolf.
24 hits. And remember, this has Hunter's Mark on it, which I think...
It's not my
just for
Hunter's
me.
Mark, though.
Oh,
So,
it's just for him. Okay.
Yeah.
That
Sorry,
is-
I didn't clarify that.
that is 10 damage.
Okay. 10 damage is heard.
And, God, I wish I'd done that before, but we're just going to risk it again. And he is going to take his second attack on the wolf with the bow.
Okay.
That is 17 to hit,
17 hits.
and that is 10 more damage.
Wonderful hits for you.
Yeah. Bonus action. He is going to Hunter's Mark the elk
Okay.
for future as a bonus action. So I will Hunter's Mark the elk as a first level spell. And Clark is going to pass on the baton to the next person.
So both creatures here have been hunters marked. And Lander, it is now your turn.
Well, Lander is now bleeding profusely. And since I didn't mention it earlier, I'm just going to go with the Armor of Shadows not having been applied. But what he is going to do is try to crispy fry this wolf and see if he can't finish him off with the witch bolt. The 12 did it.
Not quite.
Well, in that case, that will end Lander's turn.
All right. Melanie, you're up.
First thing Melanie's gonna do is, as a bonus action, she's going to look over her shoulder at Lander and yell, "Get yourself together!" And she's going to use a superiority dice to do a rally, which is one of her maneuvers, which gives him 11 temporary hit points.
Yay.
And then she's going to turn her sights to the elk that just kicked the snot out of her and use her scimitar bushwhacker again to slice at it. Goodness me. She's rolling so bad for something that she should be rolling so good. Does a 13 hit it?
Once again, a 13 does not hit.
Yeah.
Come on, unlucky 13. It's right in theme.
Oh, no.
And just to show you how many bonuses are on this weapon, she rolled a nat 1 for an 8. So that would be 4 big ol' misses from her.
The way my jaw dropped. I'm so sorry, my friend. An 8 does not does not hit.
No, it does not.
Do you want to take any movement, though? Do you want to disengage or try to, get out of there?
Well, I can't disengage because I used my action, so any movement I take will provoke an attack of opportunity. So I don't think that's going to be a good situation for her either.
You don't want to fall into that DM trap? Okay. All right. Well, no worries, because have no fear. The wolf is here. And he's got Clark over on one side firing arrows at him for some reason. He didn't even do anything to you, man. And then he's got Lander here throwing fire things at him. What is this mess? He's not quite sure between the two who he despises more. So he's going to just jump out at Lander. He's a little bit closer. And try to hit him with a bite. Lander, does an 8 break your armor class?
Does not, thankfully.
Well, that is good to know. However, once per turn, this wolf has a special feature. We didn't use it last time because he wasn't
He
wasn't
goes to
quite
sleep.
willing to risk it. But he is going to use his paralyzing touch in this bite pass. And Lander, I need you to make a Constitution saving throw for me, please.
That roll would be a 17.
Well, it's your lucky day because a 17 just passes. Otherwise, you would have been paralyzed for 1 minute.
Well, a miss is a miss, thankfully.
A miss is a miss. Now we move on to the elk who's got Melanie right in front of him. He is going to bear down again with those hooves. Does a 13 do it, Melanie?
13 does not.
Lucky for you. All right. Moving on to Golan.
Golan's gonna go ahead and swing twice again with that longsword of his. Maybe straighten his helm first, make sure he's got good eyes on it. And swing.
And who's he going after again?
The wolf.
The wolf.
Which is,
Oof.
right there. So and he rolls a 19 to begin with. And a 16.
And both of those are going to hit.
All right, and they both get the hunter's mark on there. So let's just go with the 19 rolls an 11 slashing damage, and the 16 rolls a 9 slashing. Hunter's mark for an additional 2 and an additional 1. So 23 points of damage. Oh boy.
Golan, will you please dispatch the beast?
Yeah, like Golan's, mantra in life is no mercy for the wicked, and this was a wicked wolf. So he had no trouble just taking that sword. No, he did have a little trouble to begin with. Now he has no trouble taking that sword to it one direction and the other, and just putting that X right through it. And he'll go ahead and move his hunter's mark with his bonus action to the elk.
Really appreciate the effort there, sir.
Wonderful. Golan, as you finish driving the sword through this wolf, the glowing, bloody red eyes fade. And as you remove the sword from its body, you see it start to shift and shrink. and furry limbs become arms and fingers, and the mane around the wolf's neck turns into long hair, and the snout shrinks.
We'll talk about that later.
What the hell?
Clark, it's your turn.
Oh, good. Clark is not real stoked about the current situation as he has to face his fears, but he's about 30 foot back from this deer now. He's going to turn on it, and he has to shoot it with disadvantage. But Hunter Mark is on it, and so he will let me click the old disadvantage button here and have at it. Let's see. First shot with the longbow.
Only lasts for 1 minute, right?
Yeah, this is only round 3 of 10. So that is a 14. Does the 14 hit the deer? Or elk, excuse me.
A 14 just hits.
Woo! 14 hits, and that is longbow damage of 11 plus Hunter's Mark damage. Let me throw that in here too. That would be 13 points of damage. And Clark, seeing that he got a hit, he's pretty stoked about the whole thing, although he might be peeing just a little. But his hood falls back, and he takes his stance, his proper stance, since he's made a connection here. And the scars on his face show, and he squints his eyes and remembers his history. And he pulls back his second arrow, and he lets loose. And does a 24 hit. 26 hit.
A 26 absolutely hits. Go ahead and do some damage.
That is 9 damage plus Hunter's Mark. Oh, and actually, because this is already injured, I actually have some more damage to roll, GM. I apologize. Let me get my Hunter's Mark. And because this is a large creature, Clark has hunted large things and great monsters, and he has a situation where he forgot to do his Colossus. He gets to do a D8 of damage on those. Let me just roll those. I apologize.
And now Colossal Slayer should only be good for one of those.
One of
hits.
those. You're correct. Thank you for catching that. You are correct. 1d8. So an additional 4 damage on the elk there. For Colossus Slayer due to naughty big animals and Clark's past history. And that is everything that Clark has in the tank currently.
Well, Clark, it's just enough. You face your fear, bring back that arrow string, and please dispatch the beast.
As the eyes are what scares him the most, he puts the last arrow through the red eye and hopes for the best.
The best was just good enough. As you let that arrow fly, it pierces right through the red right eye. As the beast falls to the ground in a whimper, you see the same shift start to occur. Hooves become fingers. The fur becomes skin. The antlers shrink, retract, turn to long blonde hair. And before you, nestled into the leaves, you find the 2 bodies of humans.
What was that for? I said I had it. Clearly, I had it.
We have a bigger problem.
Since Melanie's standing right at the elk now person, and she had seen, they were terrible drawings, but she had seen them, can she try and recall what those sketches may or may not have looked like and see if the person that was the elk looks like any of them?
Yes, I'm going to have you make a history check, just because we're trying to recall some information here.
Awesome. She has a -2 to history. That would be a 0 for history.
Not the funny part. Oh my god. It could be anyone.
Yeah,
Kind of looks like one of you
it
guys.
sure can. Man, this person's so average. Like, literally could be anybody in the world. Could be your mom. That's not even a half-orc, but it could be your mom.
Did any of you say that you looked at the posters? Does anybody recognize anyone? I don't have an eye for art. I'm dropping out of the accent so terribly.
Golem will say I looked at the posters briefly. I'll go ahead and do a history check on the wolf human corpse in front of me.
Okay.
With the 16. Look at that memory.
So, with a 16, you're standing over the wolf, and you see some of the faces, or facial features, of Mr. James. The slashes on this body from your own longsword are now kind of really disfiguring him, but the face is intact. You can tell. Even though the drawing wasn't the best, this is James. This is the missing villager.
Golem will look up and say, this is definitely one of the villagers. I believe his name was James. It's a shame because there's certain to be more of them where we're headed. And I don't know if any of you have a way of undoing whatever this magic is, but I have my own methods.
All I have is what we've done. This is not good. Are they were creatures, or are they taken?
Can't say.
Clark collects his arrows. Doesn't say anything else.
Does anyone here need any healing in particular?
Yup. Yes, I do.
Alright, I could do lay hands on you. How many points of healing do you need?
Well, that depends.
I can give some too. Let me help too. Who else is hurt?
And you notice Melanie has like taken a knee and is like coughing and just rubbing her shoulders, and you see that there's blood on both of her shoulders from where the elk beat her into
Clark
the ground
will walk
with its
over
hooves.
and cure wounds on Melanie.
With the temporary hit points that Melanie gave to Lander, he needs 4. Without those, he needs 50 to be fully healed.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but the temporary hit points from Melanie should last basically until you take your next long rest.
Okay, in that case, he needs 4.
Alright. So Golem will go over there and lay his hands on Lander and cast lay hands. Issue 4 points of healing.
Clark walks over to Melanie and cure wounds her. No words, just lays his hand on her shoulder. 5 hit points of healing.
Well, thank you.
He just nods.
Have you ever seen something like this before?
Too much. Not the same, but similar.
I've seen my share of creatures. They all meet the same fate.
I think it's better to meet this fate than it is to continue to live that life. So I think we should continue
Agreed.
on and see if we can free any others from their chains of bestium.
We'll return the bodies once we find the rest.
Just as you guys finish catching your breath, you hear deep in the woods a kind of wet, grotesque grunting. Golem's very triggering for you. But as you hear these noises, they don't approach you. In fact, they seem like they are starting to move away from you. Almost as if it caught the scent of what transpired and is now trying to get away. And with that, we are going to end for tonight.
Oh, man.
All right.
But we are about halfway through what I've written. So it is also like 2 nights worth of content.
Good, because you got like halfway through Melanie's hit points.
And 3/4 through Gumbos.
Yeah.
What could be lurking in the trees? Melanie, Clark, Golan, and Lander have already slain 2 beasts with bloody red eyes to find out that they weren't beasts after all, but cursed villagers Ramona and James. Their lifeless bodies, now abandoned on the floor of Elm Forest, will they press forward in an attempt to pursue the horror plaguing the village of Own, or will they creep off in the dead of night to leave the villagers to fend for themselves, and poor James and Roan to their fates if they haven't succumbed already? Did you like what you heard? Find us on your favorite listening platforms under NatFun Podcast to find out what happens next in our fun shot, A Nightmare in Elm Forest.